Based on the title of the video, we are going to be looking at markup of sales, cost of sales, and gross profit. So usually these three go together, right? We have our sales there, cost of sales, and gross profit, right? Just mind my handwriting. Gross profit, these come on the income statement. Now whatever grade you are in, grade 10, 11, or 12, one way or another you're gonna most probably come to a question like this, and it's important that you understand how to do it, right? So I'm going to touch on the theory behind it, how to do the question, and then we're going to tackle a question together, right? So remember that, just to explain it, sales is the money that you get from selling. So we're just going to have our example here of cell phones. I don't know what brand you are on, but let's say you have your Apple devices, right? The Apple devices that you sell, so say you run your own business to sell Apple devices to students at school, right? When you sell it to them and they pay you, say they pay you 1,500 for each, that is your revenue, right? And then your cost of sales is how much did you buy that iPhone that you sold. So in that case, say you went to Apple and you bought it from them for 1,000. So the 1,500 is your revenue, your sales. That is the amount of money that you got from selling the iPhone. The 1,000 rand is what you bought it for, right? So that is our sales, and that is our cost of sales, right? Then the main objective of buying and selling and all this trouble of getting into trouble with teachers for selling iPhones at school is for profit, right? In high school, in grade 8 up until 12, you don't deal with non-profit organizations. I think for most of us, that is a topic that your teachers are just going to skip through, and then you guys will not delve into that, right? So these businesses that we're going to be looking at, they all want to make a profit. At the end of the day, you as a person, you waking up to run your business so that you can have extra money and go buy, I don't know, a car or something, right? But that is the whole objective, and that profit is our sales minus our cost of sales, which is the 500 rand there, gross profit, right? Gross profit is the amount of money that you are left with after deducting your cost of sales. So you're saying that I bought this product for this much and I sold it for this much, and the difference between that, that is our gross profit. So understanding these three terms is just the start. Now I want you to also understand the percentages that come into this, because that is the main point when answering these questions. Once you have the percentage, I'm going to give you a formula that I usually use and is able to help me, right? So the percentages is our sales. Let's first start with the cost of sales. Remember, before you can sell a product, you have to buy it, you have to have it in your hand, right? I can't walk up to you and say I'm selling an iPhone, but you can't see it. For all you know, I could be selling you a bubble phone from a party pack, right? So first you have to buy the phone, and that is our cost of sales. Our cost of sales is 100%, always. That is the base price. Remember, we said we want to make a profit, so that is the base price, and then we're gonna charge on top of the base price, and the difference between that, that is our profit. You with me? So in that case, our sales is gonna be 100% plus whatever markup percentage they give you in the exam, right? And then remember, cost of sales is an expense, we deduct it. Then deducting these two, you're gonna get your markup, right? As we said, the difference between your cost of sales and your sales is your gross profit, and that is the markup. Because if you look here, cost of sales, this is 100%, and then here it's 100% on sales. If you deduct those two, what are you left with? Only the markup, and that is what we have here, right? So this is the basic. This will never change. Whatever grade you are in, grade grade 8, grade 9, 10 to 12, this will never change. It will always be the same, unless you have a question that whereby they're trying to trick you. But if you understand the fundamentals, it won't do anything, right? So for this formula that I was talking about, that I usually use to help me and assist me, is x multiplied by what I want. Sorry, let me just write this a bit bigger. It's x multiplied by what I want over what I have. And we could just say is equals to y, right? So x, no, why is this equal sign here? I mean the division sign. What I want at the bottom, have, I mean, at the bottom, right? X symbolizes the amount that you're working with. So in any given question, they will say your cost of sales is this much and your markup is this much. Calculate your sales or calculate your gross profit. X will symbolize the amount that you're given, and here in the fraction, the have will symbolize the percentage form, right? So this part of the equation, let me not put that in brackets, this part of the equation will always be in percentage form, and then y will symbolize what you want, which is the same as the percentage form for it, right? The percentage form for it. So to give you an example, we're going to say we had cost of sales of 500 rand, 500 rand cost of sales, and they say to us our markup is 50%, right? 500 rand is our cost of sales. Now, how do we get our sales? Using our markup and our cost of sales there. We're gonna now say, we're gonna substitute everything that we have into this equation that I have here. So x is what we have. What we have is 500 rand. That is our cost of sales. So we're gonna say 500 rand multiplied by what we want. What do you want? Right? I'm gonna give you two scenarios here. I'm gonna start by calculating the sales, then I'm gonna come back and calculate the gross profit to show you that with just two variables you're able to get the whole, all three of these line items, right? So first, to calculate sales, remember we said sales is 100% plus markup, so it's gonna be 100% plus 50%. That is gonna give us 150% over 100%. Sorry, remember that this 500 rand represents the 100% for cost of sales, right? And that should give us 750, right? So we're gonna have 750 up here like that, right? Then come back again and we say, how do we calculate our gross profit? We are going to say 500 rand multiplied by, what do we want? We want our gross profit. Our y is our gross profit. So what is our gross profit? The markup. Our markup here, we're told that is 50%. So we're going to say 50% over, what do we have? This 500 rand symbolizes cost of sales. Cost of sales we know is 100%. So 50 over 100. And that should give us 250 rand. Now, to check that the answer that we have here is the actual one. We're gonna substitute in the place of gross profit this 250. And when you calculate with pure maths, 250, you calculate with pure maths, 750 minus 500 should give us 250. Are you with me? So whatever amount that they give you here, you're able to calculate the other two. Let me prove it further on, right? I'm gonna use the sales to get our gross profit, right? I'm gonna use our sales to get our gross profit. So our sales is 750 multiplied by what we want. What do we want? Our gross profit, and we said that is 50%. Divided by what do we have? We have our sales, which is 150%. Our answer there is 250. If you think I might just, for whatever reason, if you think I'm just manipulating numbers, put these three formulas into an equation, into your calculator, and see if you actually get the same answer, right? Hence, I can't stress this enough. This formula is very, very, very important, right? Of course, when you get to the exam, you won't write this all out, what I want and what I have. In your head, you automatically understand that, okay, if you want the gross profit and you've given me my sales, without giving me my cost of sales, I can get to that answer. Please do not get to the exam and then now you're gonna stop and freeze because you believe that there's information missing in the exam. Trust me, I know. I was the student that stopped the teacher and said that no, your exam is missing information. Only once I understood such tips, I came to learn that all the information is there. It's just that I was not equipped to understand it, right? So let's tackle this question. If you want to look at the full paper for this, this is November 2018 exam paper, right? And here they want us to compile the income statement. This is a grade 12 paper, but I'm starting to see that nowadays more and more schools, or I think the education system is trying to blend the differences between them. So we're getting more of these questions also in grade 11 and a bit more in grade 10 also. So don't fear just because it's a grade 12 question paper. Trust me, whatever level you're on now, if you understand this now, you don't need to go learn it again when you get to grade 12. When you get there, you master it and answer such questions in a matter of minutes, right? So we have our information here. Sale of goods. The company maintains a markup of 40% on cost. Note that old goods costing 96,000 included in cost of sales were sold at 10% below cost price, right? Now, please note that questions like this do not come up a lot. I've looked at 2019 up until the 2023 question papers, and we don't have anything like this whereby they sold goods below cost, right? But we'll do the whole thing so that you're able to understand it. Just pay more attention to the normal part and not the one that is below cost, right? So if you look here, our sales was not given. Our sales is a question mark, and then our cost of sales were given there at 4,856,000, right? So we're gonna use that 4,856,000, 56,000. Sorry. And then remember, now this question is asking us to divide this into two. One will be calculated the normal way with our markup and everything. The other one will be calculated below the cost price. So we made a loss on that stock, right? So the normal one, we're gonna say minus 96,000 here, and we're going to put that in brackets, multiplied by, remember now, what we want over what we have. We are trying to calculate our sales in this scenario. So what we want is our sales, right? Remember this. What we want is our sales. Well, our sales is 100% plus markup. Our markup here, they tell us that is 40%. Markup of 40% on cost. If they say markup is 40% on cost, it's just another way of saying it's the markup, right? Remember, cost is 100%. So them saying that it's 40% on cost, that means it's literally 100% plus the markup, because we know that cost represents 100%, right? So we're going to say multiplied by 100% plus 40% should give us 140% divided by this amount of 4,856,000. What does it represent? What does it represent? Does it represent our sales, cost of sales, or markup? Right? It is our cost of sales, and we know that our cost of sales is at 100%, right? And we're gonna get our answer there. Before we go to that, I also wanna compile the other one, right? Now, this equation of what we want over what we have, I'm gonna show you now how applicable it is, not just for this topic, but possibly for other topics, right? With similar questions. Now, they said for the 96,000 goods was included in cost of sales was sold at 10% below cost price. Now we're going to say 96,000. 96,000. We're going to find out what was the amount that it was sold for, right? So we're going to say multiplied by what we want over what we have. What we have is this 96,000 represents cost. Remember, we have to buy the stock before we sell it. So we bought this at our base price, which is 100%. Then, what do we want? They said 10% below cost price. Our cost price is represented as 100. Therefore, we're going to say 100 minus 10%, and that will give us 90. Do you see how easy it is? What we want over what we have still applies here and is equal to. Now I've calculated this ahead of time. In the brackets we're going to get 4,760,000, and the total amount there, once we've multiplied it by the markup, our sales for that is 6,664,000, right? And then for the bottom one, the ones that we sold below cost, is 86,400. Now, let's not just get excited, right? At this point, we've answered half of the question. The question is asking us for the total sales, the amount that we're going to put in our income statement, right? That means we just need to add these two and we have that amount. That amount is 6,750,400. That is our sales for this question, and we can put that into the income statement, right? Now, these three line items, they always go together. Like I said, if you use this formula, you'll be able to calculate either one of these three. Given just one of them, can calculate the other two easily. And for that, I'm just going to give you homework or a side activity and say calculate the gross profit. Calculate the gross profit using the equation of x is multiplied by what we want over what we have. Calculate the gross profit there. Then, once you've calculated the gross profit, use this sales and minus your cost of sales, right? Use your sales there, this total sales, minus your cost of sales, and see if you have the same gross profit amount. If you do, that means you understood this. If you didn't, go through this lesson again, try to understand, try to do this part by yourself, right? This part down here by yourself, and then see if you get to the same answer. Once you've done that, retry the gross profit question, right? Now on my side, that is all on this lesson. I do many more lessons covering accounting from grade 10 up until 12. I will be uploading more videos like this, but I also offer help. I know it's towards exam season. I also offer help that you send me your past exam papers with the answers that you wrote, so that I can curate a lesson specially for you, seeing what mistakes you've done and how to help you. And the way that you can reach me is through my email, which is at bongani so 17, that is a 1, that is a 7, at gmail. I'm running out of space .com.